and welcome back to another episode of Down with the Browns.
Let's go, baby. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back
back,
from
baby.
Oklahoma. Yeah, let's get it. Let's
He
get
made it. He's alive. He survived Boomer Sooner Nation.
That's wrong.
Yes, sir.
Ed, how are we feeling today?
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Feeling dangerous.
Let's get ready to talk some Browns today. I'm feeling good.
You know, if Ed's feeling dangerous, that means Breakhead News is going to be very dangerous.
Yes, sir.
Very.
Breakhead News.
That's right. This is Ed in Columbus with your Down with the Browns. Breaking news. The NFL and NFL Players Association briefs were due today, but there's word that the decision by Judge Sue Robinson might not be rendered until the week of the 25th. So let me get this straight. The O.J. Simpson trial had 9 months of testimony and only 4 hours to deliberate, and yet this Watson fiasco is lasting longer than the Browns trying to trade Baker Mayfield. The Browns really need a happy ending here. In other news, Myles Garrett was with the Cavs in Vegas for the Summer League and was showing off his dunking ability. Does that mean he is unretiring? Maybe somebody should tell Kevin Stefanski. And finally, I apologize for my performance today. I've been playing over 30 hours of Halo and did not prepare. At least I didn't have to travel to Green Bay. This is Ed in Columbus with your Down with the Browns. Breaking news.
That is perfect. I was so surprised about that news coming out about Baker Mayfield playing 10 hours of Halo with fans or with somebody who was a fan of him, or I guess.
Well, no, the guy I was reading through his comments. He's not even a fan of football.
Oh wow,
like, the guy knows nothing about football.
Oh wow,
that's what made it funny.
Some argued that Baker didn't know as much about football either this past.
Clearly, something was going on. But I'll tell you what. Thinking back about that game on Christmas Day, I think that with these details, these alleged details, obviously that happened, it makes a lot of sense if they're true, right? I mean, that game is just was 3-4 interceptions. And it was just like, man, oh man, what is going on down the stretch? And the Browns could have pulled the game a win coming out of Green Bay on Christmas Day, and that would have been glorious. But alas, it was.
Hey, we got coal in our stockings.
Yeah. Yes, got coal in our stockings. But yeah, glad to be back. I went to a wedding in Oklahoma. It was a great time. I did not get, unfortunately, there was a lot going on for the wedding. I did not get a chance to stop by the stadium for the Sooners. Did not get a chance to stop by and see the Baker Mayfield statue. So highly unfortunate. Couldn't see the Baker Mayfield statue. So.
Well, that's exactly right, Manny. I mean, even if you were there, I'm sure it was too short. You couldn't have even found it, So it's not your fault. And,
miniature.
Maybe on your next trip to Oklahoma, because that's a destination, right?
Well, how couldn't you see it, man? That chip was massive on that shoulder.
Get down there, you see a Frito-Lay
chip.
A bag of chips. It would be hilarious. Next time we go down there, I'm sure that I'm going to be able to take a picture with the statue. Just get a picture, and who knows? They might have a smaller statue with Kyler Murray next year on Heisman.
It'll be as big as a Baby Yoda.
Yeah, right. He's the Baby Yoda. But nonetheless, fun trip, but glad to be back and talk some Browns, because I've been itching to get back here. A lot of news, obviously, with the Baker Mayfield trade and things like that I didn't get to speak on, but we're going to be talking a lot of cool stuff today.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Manny? What are your thoughts? Because you weren't on with us last Thursday. What do you think about this Baker trade?
Obviously, a lot of people are from other fan bases are making fun of the Browns, right? Because they said, "Oh, well, is Andrew Berry really this?" Hey Josh, thank you so much for subscribing on YouTube. Just following It's awesome. Already like you guys on Twitter. That's awesome. A lot of fan bases have been talking about Andrew Berry and saying, hey, he's not this genius. Look, he got Baker Mayfield for a 5th round conditional, right? It might be a 4th, depending on how many games that Baker Mayfield plays. If it's over 75%. But it's kind of, I don't know. It's really just bittersweet for me, honestly, personally. Obviously, you see the Cleveland Browns saying thank you, Baker Mayfield, and all he's done. Obviously, nationally, he's won a playoff game for the Cleveland Browns against the Pittsburgh Steelers, no less. who's changed their stadium name.
Last playoff game and win for the Browns was in Heinz Field.
That's right. Forever, it's going to be
Forever.
Forever. That's going to be the last playoff win in Heinz Field. Is going to be the Browns beating the Steelers because now it's what is it, Acrashore or some company out of Michigan,
acronym or something
Well,
like
that
that.
sounds like
acronym or something.
if it's out of Michigan, it sounds like a loser to me.
Exactly. If it's Michigan, here we go. Talking about
Go Bucks.
the team up north. Go Bucks, go Bucks. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, week 1. Oh man, the Browns visit Carolina week 1. Is that going to be a huge hyped up game by the NFL? I think it depends on if Watson gets suspended 0 games. And then it gets to play week 1. I think those tickets are going to skyrocket. So if there's fans out there listening, you might want to get your tickets now, just in case if Watson is not suspended. Those prices are going to skyrocket. And I'm just so interested to see how Baker's going to do because he may come out. We've heard so much about this chip on his shoulder. He might come out with a chip on his shoulder. You never know. Look at the shoulder. Look back at it, but you don't know if he's going to come out there like that, or is this defense of the Cleveland Browns going to know exactly what Baker Mayfield's doing 24/7 that whole entire game? I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I think it could go either way. You can make a storyline for either way. So honestly, it's good to be over with if you ask me.
Well, I mean, all you really got to know about Baker Mayfield is put a little pressure on him because he's going to stay in the pocket for 10 seconds anyways. He's going to pump fake about 10 times, and then if that don't work, he's going to roll out right and then throw it in the triple coverage. So you're good.
I hear on Twitter. I've been hearing on Twitter these fans saying the Cleveland Browns were paying Baker Mayfield, to play against him on week 1. And that makes sense to me because if you're paying Baker Mayfield, if you're the Cleveland Browns, I can see Denzel catching a few passes. I can see Greedy. I can see Newsome. I think it's actually going to work out okay that the Browns are actually paying Baker some of that salary because I think a lot of orange and brown jerseys that day are going to be catching some passes.
10.5 million to throw a couple picks. Hey, I like it. I personally like it. It is going to be a fantastic game. I don't know if it's going to get flexed or anything, but it's going to be one of those games that
I don't know if they'll flex it where it's just week 1 and they've already kind of got everything.
Yeah, right.
Which usually if they're flexing it, it'll be like a later in the year.
Yeah,
game.
Because I'm sure they got the 425, the game of on Fox or whatever decided.
Because they would have to move one of them games up and then one of them.
It'll be the premier 1:00 game. Let's be real.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So hey,
no, everyone will be paying.
It's going to be the most watched game in America.
It's the Cleveland Browns.
It's the Cleveland Browns. It's Cleveland Browns. You got Deshaun going down to Carolina. Went to college down there, and the Carolinas at Clemson. So you're gonna have some Watson fans. You're gonna have some Browns fans. You know what I mean? So it will be packed. For both sides.
That tailgating is gonna be awesome.
Tailgating is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. It should be kind of friendly. It should be kind of friendly.
It's gonna be great when Myles Garrett sees his former teammate Baker Mayfield, and he just gives him a couple nice hugs down to the ground.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Brings him down gently. I'm hoping for some interaction during the game. During play.
No social distancing.
No social distancing. I want a couple of sacks.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be tested with the rookie, right? They got a rookie left tackle. Is that right?
Yeah, I think. Well, they from Maryland, I believe it was Emeka or of North Carolina State, Emeka Inoku. I think I have to look it up and double check. But obviously, the Browns' offensive line is better than Carolina's offensive line, so we're going to see exactly how Baker handles that. And if Christian McCaffrey is going to be healthy week 1, it's a question mark these days.
Yeah.
If you're a fantasy owner, be very wary of that this year because I made that mistake 2 years in a row and it bite me in the butt.
Oh, Manny.
Be very careful. Be very careful.
We've been talking about how he's going to be throwing a few passes to that Browns secondary.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of our topics for the day is the Browns secondary because we're going to start doing like position groups probably once a week. Just kind of nailing them, letting you get to know the ins and the outs of the team. So we're going to start with the secondary. So I've got a few little stats pulled up. And I guess we'll just start with probably the cornerstone of that secondary and Denzel Ward. So I've got a few.
Where do you go to college at, Christian?
The Ohio State University.
THE.
The Ohio State University.
The Ohio State University.
I'm Batman. No.
That's Nick Chubb.
Yeah, that is Nick Chubb. Yes.
No, it's me. But like Denzel Ward, he ranked 11th in all corners last year on PFF. His overall grade was a 76.9. His coverage grade was a 75.9. And he had 3 picks, 34 tackles, 0.5 sacks, and 10 pass deflections.
And breaking down each of these guys in this secondary as we go through each position before the season starts, talking about obviously that cornerstone, which is Denzel Ward. My number one concern and my number one bragging point this entire offseason has been that game, the 2 games versus Jamar Chase. Obviously, a lot of people want to just throw the second game under the rug. I know he only had 3 targets, I believe, that game the second time because, the Bengals were already making the playoffs. But that first game shows you so much. I mean, Jamar Chase is given, has literally given problems to every other team that he's faced in the NFL since he's been there. Mm-hmm. But then you pair him up against Denzel Ward, who seems to be his kryptonite now. Right. You have Jamar Chase talking about this offseason. The film that he's going to watch the most of is Denzel Ward because everyone's talking about it. A lot of other teams, a lot of other corners are going to watch that film and say, hey, what is Denzel Ward doing differently against Jamar Chase? So my question to you guys is, hey, are you bringing, are you bringing attention to this and kind of bragging about it, or are you worried about this matchup moving forward? Do you think that Jamar Chase will get the best of Denzel Ward next year, or do you think that Denzel Ward is going to continue this kind of this matchup with Jamar Chase and kind of, or even it out, or will it still be Denzel Ward kind of heavy? Because I'm a little bit concerned as we get close to season time about talking so much trash and saying, hey, I don't care about Jamar Chase. You can talk about Jamar Chase all day, but we have Denzel Ward.
You know what, man? I want to, with this whole thing, I think Denzel will be fine against Jamar Chase. It reminds me of, like, even when the Bengals had AJ Green, it would always be the other ones like Hushmanzada and some of their other wide receivers that would torment us. Because it seems like the Browns have always done a great job of taking out the Bengals' number 1 wide receiver for whatever reason. And I think it's going to continue with one Denzel Ward against Jamar Chase. And you know what I like about, you just gave us PFF stats and grades and all that. And I love that. But I knew Denzel was a dog from day one. And here's why. So, we're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in that opening game. And the Steelers are marching down the field. And he makes this beautiful interception. And just like last year in Cincinnati, they're marching down the field about to take a 7-0 lead. And Denzel says, no, ain't happening today, dude. Picks it off and goes 99 yards for the pick 6. So Denzel's a dog. And all these stats, and I love the stats because they're great. And obviously they love him in Berea, and that's why they gave him the contract. But you know what? He's one of those guys that you just know he's always going to be around the ball. And that's what I love about him. And Denzel Ward going forward for the next 5 to 7 years, elite. And we should be glad to have him.
Well, I mean, he's just like, what, 25? 25 now? 26?
He's 20. He's 24. He's 24. Denzel
He's 24?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's 24.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, that boy young.
He's a youngin'.
Young.
That boy young. He logged down for multiple years. And, I mean, you go back, you look at that, as you were saying, I was at that Pittsburgh game. Completely nuts. He actually got 2 picks that game.
He did.
2. And, like, I mean, to go against that, I mean, that was when the Pittsburgh Steelers offense was, I mean, you had Big Ben. He's semi still kind of good then.
He was that year. Exactly.
You had AB, the Juju Smith-Schuster. That was the year Le'Veon Bell sat out, but, like, that's when James Conner was getting his thing going. So, I mean, you go into that game as a rookie, and you can do that against AB and Juju Smith-Schuster. That's –
Well, he played at the Ohio State University.
The first time I heard about him was when he did that. He ended up getting kicked out of the game for that hit at Ohio State. But I mean, I think it was Maryland. Is that right? Yeah. That kid was running, then you see Denzel Ward crack him, and I'm like, oh!
And Denzel's not really. He's not a dirty player. He just plays the game the right way, and it's just like I remember when that happened. It's just so un-Denzel like, and Hey,
well, Denzel for his build, he can hit stick people.
Yes, he can.
Like, I mean, even that Baltimore game, man, he had 3 or 4 hits. Like, I don't remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure he hit Lamar pretty good one time.
I love how agile. Obviously, the NFL posted about his slide, the cancel slide tackle. He slides right under the defender. But obviously, a lot of people know a little bit about Denzel Ward. But as Browns fans, we know a lot about another guy on the other side named Greg Newsome from Northwestern, who we're really high on. And I know a lot of people, I don't know, maybe know a little bit about Greg Newsome. Christian, if you want to dive a little bit about Greg Newsome,
So we were chatting a little bit before the podcast, and we've got the warden. I think it's time we call him the sheriff. We've got a new sheriff in town,
Like that.
on the other side of the warden. And the sheriff's stats for last year, he had 9 pass deflections, 33 tackles. He ranked 32 in all corners in the NFL last year on PFF. His overall grade was a 68.1. But what's weird about corners on PFF is they factor in pass rush and run defense. So, and his run or his pass rush wasn't that high, so it kind of affected that grade. But his coverage grade was a 70.6. Pretty solid for a rookie who is I think he's just 22 now. So going into his second season, he's going to be 22. The dude's going to be locked down, man. I mean, we talk about Denzel Ward shutting down Jamar Chase. There were some snaps where he was lining up with Greg Newsome, and boy, did he have his number.
Yeah, Greg
Newsome
giving problems.
And then with Marquise Brown, too. He's giving him fits.
Go ahead.
No doubt about that. But, one thing about the Cleveland Browns, I know we like this high-powered offense that we're finally going to get with Deshaun Watson when he gets the keys to the car here. But Cleveland's, one thing about, they talk about the Bernie days. And, yeah, we had Webster Slaughter and Langhorne, and it was fun with Kevin Mack and talk about the 2,000-yard rushers. But Cleveland had a secondary of Hanford Dixon and Frank Minifield and Felix Wright. And that's what it looks like when I see Denzel and Newsome and even the new guy that we got this year. I mean, they got an influx of 3 or 4 guys that are just difference makers and can be difference makers. So that's what I'm excited about. And then obviously when you have the NFL is all about passing. Everybody's like, you need a pass rush. You need a pass rush. Well, if you can start in the back, I know Mike Pettin prescribed to this where he liked the back 7 over the front 7. Problem with him is he just didn't have the horses to do it. But I think if you do it that way, which is the way the NFL's going, and then you can take players like Taven Bryan and the guy that we got from New England this year. And guess what? The role players, it's a lot easier to get 5 or 6 sacks a year because your secondary is locked down like it's going to be. So I'm excited about it. Chase Winovich, sorry, I should have said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you got guys like Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, and all these lockdown secondary players we got, I mean, as you said, it's just going to give people like Myles Garrett, Chase Winovich, Jadeveon Clowney, Alex Wright, these youngins, they're going to be out there feasting because these quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield who already take 10 years in the pocket. They're going to be standing there. They're going to be looking like, huh? And then Myles Garrett and whoever is going to be coming around. They're like, oh, no. And then, so.
I want some more strip sacks and touchdowns this year. I want to see somebody. I always want other
those
teams.
are fun.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I want what other teams do. I think the Browns defense is finally there, so I want to roll with that.
Hey,
shout
Derek.
out to DF Sports. Shout out.
Derek. Hey, what's up, Derek? How we doing? Well, another guy adding on to this secondary, is a youngin from that we just picked up this year in our draft from Mississippi State. One Martin Emerson. Martin Emerson, 6'2", 201, 6'2", big corner. 6'2", very long, he shows a lot of finesse on defense. And I think, what are your guys' kind of feelings around Martin Emerson? Ran a 4.53 40. What are some of the ways that the Browns might use him? What are some of the things that you might expect from him and grow underneath this budding young secondary room?
Go ahead, Christian.
So, as a Kentucky Wildcat fan, I got to see Martin Emerson play against my Wildcats. SEC ball, and he was he kind of ate. There was a play. Will Levis looks over, little screen pass was going to happen. He hits Wan'Dale Robinson, and then he cracked my boy Wan'Dale. I was not happy about it, but I know who Martin Emerson is because of that hit right there.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
That dude. He's got the black Air Force Ones on, bro. All times. This dude is a menace. I'm telling you, this boy in the AFC, he's fitting perfect. He's fitting that rough. We've already got the bad boy mantra on us. We got Myles Garrett who ripped off the helmet. Deshaun Watson, everything around him, Kareem Hunt. Martin Emerson is gonna be a menace on the field, man. I'm telling you.
I love it. I love it, Christian. You know what I like about this? I like the fact that Andrew Berry, once again, is a genius because you got one Greedy Williams, who I think what's going to happen to Mr. Greedy Williams this year is I think he's going to have a great season. He's going to price himself out of Cleveland, though, because you can only pay so many players. I think that, you're not going to give him a max deal. You're not going to give him. So, look, I think that he's going to play great. He's going to contribute. He's going to help this Browns team be 11-6 and make the playoffs. And yes, I'm going to keep saying that 11-6. And it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. And I think that's why you drafted Emerson. So he's going to come in. He's going to do his thing. But I think next year is going to be his big year. Come in, make the hits this year. Put the league on notice. Put the league on notice that you're a dog.
I feel like Emerson's going to be. They're going to kind of convert him into a safety because he's big. And Ronnie Harrison, he's on that 1-year deal. I think they're going to try to mold him in, like kind of finesse him into the safety position because he is a little bit bigger. I think he'll be better kind of guarding like the bigger receivers. Maybe tight ends, like we'll see. Maybe put a little weight on him. He got that dog in him.
He does. Go, Chris. Yeah, go.
He's a bulldog, right?
I feel like I'm talking forever, but like,
no, please continue.
He had like 3. I have like these stats pulled up from last year. Like he had 3 pass deflections, 49 tackles, 3 were tackles for loss, and his PFF grade overall was a 78.4. Run defense was 74.2, and coverage was a 78.8.
Wow, those are nice numbers
in the SEC.
In the SEC, and honestly, he's very talented and press man, right? He's very patient. I think that a lot of people were concerned pre-draft about his ability to help in the run, but
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
The Miz did announce his name.
It was
at the
awesome.
Draft. The Miz did announce his name. The WWE star, the Miz.
You know what up.
Absolutely, Derek playing some box safety. I think that a lot of his concerns pre-draft from a lot of other people about his ability to help and run, I think that's not going to be too much of a concern here because we have Jadeveon Clowney, we have Perrion Winfrey to potentially, obviously, rush on third downs for passes. But our run defense, I know Mac, shout out to Mac Buffalo. He's not at the show today, but I know Mac's really concerned about the run defense. Obviously, we plug up some holes to try to kind of address the issue. So I'm not too worried about his ability to stop the run for Martin Emerson, but I do believe that he's going to be used heavily, like you're saying, Christian, against those tight ends. So honestly, it's going to be fun to watch for Christian Emerson. And we kind of touched on, Ed, you kind of touched on Greedy Williams a little bit before we shift to Greedy Williams to one of our fourth players. It was the fourth guy in the secondary room. Shout out to Greedy. Greedy, this is going to be is this a prove it year for Greedy Williams? Is this a prove it year? Because listen, if Greedy Williams, I'll even say this: if Greedy Williams, even if he gets injured one more time and misses 4+, 5+ games, he might not be in Cleveland the year after in 2023. I mean, one could make that argument just because we've had so many perpetual problems with Greedy Williams. Yeah. He's not a bad corner for other teams, other fans listening. If you're listening from another team, he's not a bad corner, right? But the best ability is availability, and that's one of the problems that we've been having with Greedy Williams. What are your thoughts on Greedy Williams, guys? Moving forward, is this a prove it year for him, or is it more of a kind of whatever?
Manny, it's a prove it year for himself. Because no matter what happens, he's not in Cleveland in 2023.
True.
That's my point. Yeah. So he gets injured, he's gone, and they don't worry about him. If he plays great, they'll somebody else will sign him or whatever like that. So I think, like I said, the only prove it is proving to his agent that he can get a big contract next time or do something like that with another. Yeah. But yeah.
Unless he takes that like hometown discount, he's like, "Hey boys, I know we got something special here. We got Deshaun, we got Miles. Let's lock up a deal." Yeah.
He could do that. He could do that. But and especially in today's day and age, obviously NFL stands for not for long. So if he wants to go get his money, has a great year, balls out, wants to get his money, goes somewhere else, you can't blame him.
Yeah. He's still young. He's
still young. Might as well. Mm-hmm. But to your point, Ed, I think that a lot of people it has to come to grips with if he has a great year, that's a win-win for the Browns, right?
Exactly.
Huge rotational piece. I forgot what game it was. It's escaping my mind right now. But Greedy forced a fumble with Grant Delpit. I think it was Baltimore. But he shows some flashes that he can get involved in plays and make some plays. But I just think that if he plays extremely well, great for the Browns. Because then they'll get something potentially maybe for him if they want to move in that direction. But obviously it works well for him because he could just request.
He
more
gets
money.
straight cash, homie.
He gets more guaranteed money. So at the end of the day, it's all about the green.
And I mean,
cash rules everything around me. So cream.
That's right. I love it. That's right.
Well,
Yeah, you know what I
and
mean?
like you said, if we'd like maybe package him like early on or like trade him off maybe at the trade deadline,
Yeah,
we still got guys like AJ Green on the roster.
absolutely.
Can step right in. Like he was a dog last year. I didn't really get the stats pulled up for him, but I know he was a dog. He got that dog in him. They did the X-rays. It's confirmed.
It's confirmed.
He got
It's
that
confirmed.
dog in him, But going back to Greedy, I pulled up some of his stats. I mean, his PFF grades were not the best, but I mean, a lot of that had to factor in with the pass rush and the run defense. A lot of that had to. His overall was a 64.6, and his coverage was a 68.8. He had 1 pass deflection, 2 picks, 35 tackles, and 1 forced fumble, as you said. I think he's going to be pretty solid at that cornerback 3, cornerback 4 kind of rotational piece. I think he's going to be solid. I've wanted Greedy to be that guy because I kind of thought Greedy was going to be what Greg Newsome is, going to be honest. Because, I remember watching the highlights of Greedy Williams going in. You're like, oh, man, we got Chris Rock on the other side of Denzel, man. It's going to be solid. So, but, hopefully it pans out. Hopefully we can keep him. I mean, as you said, Ed, it's probably not for long.
Probably, you know what? But to Manny's point, it's a win-win. I mean, hey, sayonara if you go. But look, the 2022 season's coming up, and if he can be a big contributor, then
Facts.
Hey, shout out to my boy Josh there. Yes,
it's contagious.
Hey, so how do you guys feel about a guy that we picked up from the LA Rams, John Johnson, the third? I know. It's so first and foremost, it's so crazy to say he's more of an older guy on our secondary compared to all the young
26.
guys. He's 26. You know what I mean? I'm 27. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me that I'm saying that he's an older guy. I can't do it. But obviously, in 2020 with the Rams, he's had 1 interception and no sacks. But with the Browns in 2021, he's had 3 interceptions with the Browns and then 0.5 sacks, 1.5 sacks. So I think he's doing really well in Cleveland. He's making this well known. Perry, my mom's a dog, my dad's a dog. They had a dog, Perry Winfrey.
Makes sense.
It makes sense. Perry, I cannot wait to do the D-line room on the next show. But I think it's going to be really interesting to see what we get from John Johnson. Some of that veteran leadership, especially for a young secondary room. What are your guys' expectations for John Johnson? We were kind of waiting for him to do his thing. Like most of the defense, it was kind of a slow start for the entire defense last season. So we were looking for John Johnson to do more. Obviously, he kind of proved it to us later in the back half. So what are your expectations for John Johnson?
He's going to be a leader. You know what I like about him? I think that, he came here. And these people that with the Joe Wood system and they're getting on these players the first couple of weeks last year, it wasn't like they're bad football players. They're learning a 4-2-5 scheme. It took them some time to figure out not only where they needed to be, but where the other players on the field were going to be. So now that you saw the last 5 to 6 games, it looked like they figured it out. And John Johnson the third, I mean, the guy's a baller. And I think he's going to be the leader of that secondary. Everybody's like, well, Denzel's the leader. No, Denzel's the best player.
Yes.
But I think that John Johnson's like the quarterback of that secondary. And I think he's going to be the one, barking out the orders and the assignments and doing everything from that standpoint. So, sky's the limit for that guy. And I think that's what we thought when we signed him to that big deal. And I think the fruits of the labor and getting him to Cleveland will be shown next year in its full potential and capacity.
Yeah, he's very vocal. You can tell that by the way he talks in the press conferences. And then listening to the mocked ups, he's real vocal.
He got yoga, didn't he? And then he want to get yoga.
Yes, he wanted to get yoga.
He's a trendsetter. So
for sure,
he is.
He reminds me. I know it's weird to say, but he reminds me a lot of like Jarvis Landry. Like he puts me in the mind of a Jarvis Landry. Like
that's a dog.
He's a dog. And one thing I really like about John Johnson is we saw what he can do over in LA. And last year we really didn't get an off season. We were still in the COVID pandemic type era, and a lot of the practices like during training camp and stuff got canceled because of COVID outbreaks. Like, I mean, there was a preseason game they didn't even get to prepare for like in person. So, I mean, you need every rep you can, like when you're new to a team. So,
and plus learning a new scheme.
yeah.
I mean, it's not just. I mean, I know there's some similarities between the. I get that to a certain point, but at the same time, it's like Joe Woods. He does some stuff that we haven't really seen in Cleveland a lot. I love it, especially now that you got JOK and you got other these players like that. That you got dogs that can go sideline to sideline.
Yes.
That's the thing. The Browns never had speed. Now they have speed on defense where they go
sideline
to sideline in every position now.
It's everywhere.
The Ravens have had it.
The Ravens have had it,
and they kicked their butts because of it.
Yes. And this team, this is just a side note, kind of, I don't know why I'm plugging EA Sports Madden, but I mean, this team is going to be crazy to play on Madden 23. It's going to be insane. So a question from Josh Mansfield. What's up, Josh? How we doing? Do you think we are really going to trade or sign anyone else in the offseason, or do you think AB's done with the signings, or will Sue Robinson's decision determine that? We can take this question really quick. Yeah, let's take this question. What do you guys think? Is there going to be another signing? Do you think they're going to try to get somebody else on that defensive line, a veteran on the defensive line? Is there somebody you're looking at? Or, if Deshaun Watson is suspended the entire season, as some people suggest that he's going to be, do you think they're going to go after Jimmy Garoppolo? Obviously, the Seahawks have had some rumors that they want to go after Jimmy. But what do you think that decision for Deshaun is going to determine for AB's movements?
You can go ahead, Ed.
Well, they saved some money with Baker. I know that instead of eating $18 million, I mean, they got $8 million in some cap relief there. And I think here's what I think, that the big determining factor, and I love that question by Josh, is that last part that he put in there, the decision by Judge Sue Robinson. Because guess what? Deshaun gets 0 games. I think AB, Stefanski, and Jimmy and Berea gonna do a little jig, gonna be dancing. They're gonna be dancing, you know what I'm saying? And then they'll be like, I think Jimmy's gonna tell AB, I think we need to go spend some of that money and get me one more player if you need me. So I could see a Will Fuller. I could see somebody, hey, what you need, Deshaun, since you got 0 games, gonna be playing all. Hey, you need another weapon? Or I could see somebody on the, because they'll have that. So I think the Browns would go even more all in if that decision by Judge Sue Robinson goes the way that 6 or less. But if it's 0 games, I think Jimmy's spending some money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. I could definitely see them making some moves. Obviously, like I kind of alluded to it already with my question, but I don't know if it's 0 games. I mean, I think there might be one more signing, maybe on the defensive line, just for some extra padding in there, just in case.
Yeah.
But if he is suspended for an extended period of time, which, I mean, I don't know. I don't see personally. We can get into that later, but I think that I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns maybe go after one more guy under center, because I don't know if they're very comfortable with heading into the season the entire time with just Josh Dobbs as their backup quarterback behind.
What you hate about Tennessee football, Manny?
Yeah, no, listen, nothing against the Vols down there, and Josh Dobbs, really smart guy, a rocket scientist, you know what I mean? We had some interactions on Twitter. He's a really nice guy. I love him. Should have helped me with my chemistry homework back in the day, my physics homework, but I told him that, but it's just, I don't feel very comfortable with Josh Dobbs under center as my backup guy, number one. Will Levis, shout out to the UK.
Big Blue.
Christian
go Big Blue
right now. But, are you guys comfortable with Josh Dobbs as the backup quarterback under Jacoby Brissett? So I think if Deshaun is suspended for a long period of time, you'll see somebody.
I mean, if he's holding the clipboard, that's fine. As long as he's not disability.
Yeah, if he's holding the clipboard, you know what I mean? I know that Tyrod Taylor just got I think either traded or signed with the New York Giants. Yeah. But I don't know if they're going to try to bring Tyrod back for, I don't know, just to be able to get the offense kind of familiar and the kind of schemes they're trying to run if Deshaun's suspended for the entire year or whatever. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. But what do you think, Christian?
So I think we're going to get one more D tackle, whether you're Watson, like it don't matter about because I think with the Baker trade, we opened up $8 million. There's 2 guys actually I think that the Browns could be looking at. One of them could be actually getting a suspension, but they're both familiar with the Browns defense. One of them is Sheldon Richardson. So
Mm.
bringing him back, I think a lower end deal. 'Cause, I mean, he's still a free agent. I mean,
Yep.
you know, he loved Cleveland. Hey,
He's a
just wanted-
dog.
he
He's
just
a
wanted
dog.
it. He
He's
wanted
a
the
dog.
bag. That's the
He's a
reason he
dog.
went on
Yeah,
the Browns.
yeah.
He's a dog.
And then another guy, Malik McDowell. Not heard much about him. I mean, he had that little
Mhm.
incident, really hurt him. But you know,
I'd love for him to come back and try to, because look, he was changing
Yeah.
his life. He had a bad day. I don't know what happened,
I
but
think,
Yeah.
rumor
if
has
it's-
it
if
he was
if
drugged
it
or
was a
something.
mental
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
then
yeah.
hey, man,
Yeah.
I hope it turns his life around. And what better way than in Cleveland?
yeah. And I mean, look at the defense, man. Come be part of something special. You know, I mean, I was pretty big on Adamic and Sue coming to Cleveland. Is it gonna happen? Probably not. But you know, would I love for it to happen still? Yeah. I mean, bring him. I mean, I want as much talent on the team as possible. But at the end of the day, I think they're gonna get like a lower key defensive tackle, kind of just solidify the room. But I mean, I'm fine if we roll with the D line as is. At this
Absolutely.
point.
I am too.
Absolutely.
I'm coming more around to it.
Yeah, because
yeah, me too.
I mean, I watched some tape on Tavon Brown. There's some that you're like, did the Browns really sign this guy? And then you're like, the Browns really got this guy. Like, you know, like, I mean, you're seeing both sides of it. But I'm fine with where we're at. But I mean, I'd also love just to get somebody else in there, just to icing on the cake, you know.
Yeah. And I think going back to, thanks for the question, Josh. Thank you so much for that question. Going back to continuing with the secondary room, there's a guy who last year, because of a lot of the injuries that were happening with the secondary room for the Cleveland Browns, got a lot of playing time. And one AJ Green, not the wide receiver, but we got somebody in the secondary named AJ Green.
Oh yeah.
From Oklahoma State, right down there in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Shout out to my trip down there to Oklahoma, the Cowboys down there in Des Bryant. But, AJ Green, undrafted in 2020, was rewarded with the highest record-setting undrafted contract at the time. So, he's a 6'2" guy, played 12 games last year because, like I said before, with all those injuries, made a lot of plays. So showed some flashes of great vision, so I think what are some of the things that you excited about, are excited for AJ Green moving into this season? And, what's the expectation for you guys?
Well, I got trapped in one of those spaces. This is, I don't know, a couple months back. And there was some lively discussion about Denzel compared to AJ Green. And you know what? If you look at, I know Denzel's played a lot more snaps. If you look at the snaps that AJ Green played, he grades out nicely. And I like the fact that he's 6'2", 6'2", and what Morton Emerson, what is he? 6'2",
6'2" as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
6'2"
the Brown.
well.
You know what? The Browns have finally realized in the AFC North, it's a black and blue division. It's a knockout, drag them out, kind of smash mouth kind of stuff. And, bigger players, sometimes, most of the time, they hit harder. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Even if they hit you wrong, it's going to be harder because they're bigger. And especially come late November, December, when the weather gets cold, I don't want to get hit by a 6'2" dude that can, hit like a freight train, and either does a wide receiver. Nope. So I think Cleveland's finally doing it right. Stay big and, stay bad. So I like what the Browns are doing.
The reason we're laughing is Derek said Josh Dobbs is going to blind defenders with that bald head. No offense, Manny. Hey, listen.
They wear helmets. They wear helmets.
they do wear helmets. Unfortunately for me, I am not. Not Nivea for men for the clean shave. Nivea for men.
Shout out to Nivea. You want to sponsor us?
Gillette Fusion Pro Glide series.
Going back,
Christian, what do you think? What do you think about AJ Green?
I'm fine with it, man. Like, get all the depth you can. He started one game last year. He had one pick, 2 fumble recoveries last year, 21 combined tackles. That's pretty solid for a guy that didn't get as much playing time. When you got guys like that start the whole year and they're getting like 50, and then you got a guy that plays 12 games, starts 1, comes in rotationally, and still gets 21.
Yeah.
Plus 2 fumble recoveries.
He's a dog.
He's a dog. I love what we've seen. The organization, when you're patient with certain players, sometimes it either bites you in the butt or it pays off. And I think it's slowly paying off for AJ Green. We being able to be thrown in there with all those injuries. We kind of seen, oh wow, AJ Green making some huge plays. Same thing with Donovan Peoples-Jones, and more on the opposite side of the ball with injuries and things like that. We kind of shoved him almost into the wide receiver one role for some games, and it's just like, not that the light was bright for him, but it's just it was a little bit too soon, right? You know what I mean? It's like, all right, DPJ, we kind of need you to be wide receiver one right now. But it's like, hey, I think I'm impressed with AJ Green, and so I think that his future is bright, continuing playing for the brown and orange for sure.
Yeah, and there's a few more guys in that secondary that we've not covered yet, and that's the young stud, Grant Delpit, who's technically going in to that second year. In real reality, it's his third, but he's still young enough, so we can count it as his second. But he had a pretty good year, not gonna lie.
I like the flashes. 23 years old, I think I like Grant Delpit, especially out of LSU. What I really liked about him coming into last season was I wanted to see, man, we had a lot of injuries in our secondary. Please, can some of these young studs that we drafted higher come in here and start showing some light? And like I said before, I saw him flying around when he was on the field. I saw him flying around, and I saw his name called in a good way a couple of times. So I personally like what I'm seeing out of Grant Delpit. Christian, if you want to elaborate on some of the things that are going on with Grant, I don't know if you have any stats from last year.
So he had 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception, 3 pass deflections, and 66 tackles. His PFF overall was a 63.3. His run defense was a 59.9. He can improve on that, but he's still young. They had him playing a lot of like linebacker, sub linebacker in those packages. His pass rush was a 78.5. That's pretty good for a safety. And then his coverage was a 64.5. Sorry, choke like that.
You're good.
But I mean, he showed flashes technically for his first year in that defense. I mean, he got to sit in all the meetings and all that stuff the year before, which I think helped. But I mean, I think he's going to have a big step this year because, I mean, we did start Ronnie Harrison in that spot for most of the season, and then Grant finally took it over once we started getting farther and farther in, and then defense tightened up. So I think you're going to see a more superstar-esque Grant Delpit this year.
2 years removed from that ace, that Achilles, the torn Achilles. So we're gonna see a better Grant Delpit this year for sure. Ed, what do you think about?
What I like about him is what Christian alluded to with Ronnie Harrison starting all those games and then Grant Delpit came in. Ronnie Harrison's career when he was going good with Jacksonville, he got a lot of turnovers. He was always there at the right spot, at the right time. And I think that's the knock on him has been, okay, maybe you're not the greatest, when you grade him PFM wise or whatever like that. Mm-hmm. But where you at when it's turnover time? You know what? I look at Grant Delpit. He came in there, and what you just described with some of those numbers, it seemed like for the limited times, compared to Harrison, he was making plays. He was there where he needs to be. And the kid's a stud. He's always been a stud with a bad injury. Now he's recovering, and I think with that extra year, I see the sky's the limit for him. And with him and John Johnson the third, that secondary is it's so loaded.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so loaded. It is.
Well, and then there was a pick from the Baltimore game for that 2-point conversion that's not even going to get added, and pretty much that kind of saved the Browns because, I mean, they won by 2 that game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think Grant Delpit, a great, honestly, a great box safety. I think they kind of threw him into the role of playing a deep safety early on in the season, and it kind of got exposed there, and they had some problems. But again, like I said before and alluded to, I don't know if it was just Joe Woods getting used to all the additions and just the talent of that defense and trying to mesh everybody together. But again, I think that last back half of the season, I know Mac would be throwing his arms up saying that the rush defense wasn't the greatest, but let's talk about that pass defense and the points allowed.
Oh,
obviously, it was completely polar opposites from the first half of the season to the back half. It's something to be happy about moving forward. Yeah. But I think that Grant Delpit, what Joe Woods in that defense is going to ask of him is just to be better playing a deep ball safety, because obviously when it comes to just being playing in the box, he's phenomenal. Great vision. So it's going to be interesting to see how it moves forward for sure.
Oh, for sure. And do we got like one last safety, I believe? I mean, without going through like all the depth pieces, and that's Ronnie Harrison.
Ronnie Harrison. Hey, Ed, another big body guy, 6'3", and Ronnie Harrison.
Yeah. Which I'm kind of shocked they brought him back. I mean, we were on the podcast.
Offensive coordinators.
Hey, bro, I don't even care. I want him in there.
I love that. I love that dog.
I love that dog in him. That Bama dog.
You gotta be smarter than that. Hey, yeah, during the game, I was saying you gotta be smarter than that.
Well, I mean, he did. I mean, the coach started it, bro.
The coach was putting his hands on
Pittsburgh started it.
Pittsburgh started. Screw Pittsburgh.
Freddie Kitchens with Pittsburgh started a T-shirt, but again, Kansas City. That game, Kansas City. Ronnie Harrison punching the offensive coordinator. We don't even know his name. We know Ronnie Harrison's name. Maybe because we're fans of the Browns, but I mean, obviously that's the kind of you kind of like that a little bit of that tenacity, right?
Yeah.
You kind of like that kind of that aggression. Obviously, you can give or take was a controlled aggression. You probably shouldn't be punching people. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we like dogs here, so we just like controlled dogs in certain situations. But I think I love Ronnie Harrison. I understand that we brought him back initially because it was like, okay, well, are you going to get somebody in the draft? This was pre-draft, so where are you going to get somebody in the draft? And obviously Martin Emerson from Mississippi State fell to the Browns, and they got their guy. So Ronnie Harrison's more just brought back as a hey, the defense. I think, me personally, if you had to ask me, it's more of a hey, this defense, some familiarity. You don't want to start all over because we saw how that went the beginning half of last season. So bring a familiar face back in there.
Well, he's in his third year now with the Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, he had an all right season. Wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
It was okay. He had 1 sack, 58 tackles, 1 pick, 3 pass deflections. His overall PFF grade was not solid. It was a 60.8. His run defense was pretty solid. He had a 78.3. Pass rush was not as good with a 58.2. His coverage was not as good either with a 54.5. So, I mean, I think he's, like I said, with Grant Delpit, they can put him in those linebacker kind of packages, and I think that he can eat in those.
Yeah, absolutely. With MJ Stewart going to the Houston Texans, I think it's going to be, I mean, obviously, I like the MJ Stewart, but at the same time, Ronnie Harrison signed this 1-year deal. Hey, Ed, is this a prove it deal for Ronnie Harrison? Obviously, it is. It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ronnie, whatever you did, the first couple of years in the league when you were just always around the football, get a GPS locator. Find that football. You're around that football. That football will get you paid. And good luck, Ronnie.
Well, that's the only knock I have on the entire secondary last year was they didn't have. I mean, we had turnovers, but like there wasn't as many turnovers as like. I want as many turnovers as there were like in that 2014.
Remember when Tayshaun Gibson would always be
like, I mean, Joe Hayden was locked down. You had guys like K1 Williams getting picks left and right. Justin Gilbert had a pick 6 that year.
Yeah, against the Colts.
Crazy. Then you had what was his name? Buster Screen. Dude, that team was actually low key kind of stout. I mean, Dante Hittner. Yeah. I mean,
that was what 2014. That's a Mike Pettin. He liked his secondary. That's from the back end, and that's what they did.
And then a bunch of dogs. So I kind of want to see that because that's the original lockdown on the lake to me. Like, I mean, I didn't get to see all the studs back in the day.
You mean when the Browns when they were good?
Yeah. Oh, I've not been alive for that except like the past couple years. So, because I mean, the relocated Browns are actually older than me.
Wow.
Because I was born in 99, but I was born in November of 99.
Break Ed news.
Wow. I'm feeling anxious right now.
So it's like, bro, why did you say that?
So
I didn't see Paul Brown. I didn't see Jim Brown play.
No.
Well, so technically Tim Couch threw a touchdown pass for the Browns before I was born. So
Wow.
With his first touchdown in the league, I believe, was at the week 2 in Tennessee, and they lost 26-7. I think.
see, I was born on Thanksgiving, so if they had a game on Thanksgiving, I mean, I don't remember, but yeah, I was born on Thanksgiving of '99. So
Their last Thanksgiving Day was Thanksgiving in 1989. They went up to the Pontiac Silverdome and lost to Barry Sanders 13-10.
I thought we beat Pittsburgh on a Thursday night or a Thanksgiving Day game a couple years ago.
It wasn't Thanksgiving.
Huh?
It wasn't Thanksgiving.
Because I don't think Big Ben or I thought they had
wasn't.
Lowe's plays. It wasn't.
It wasn't.
We're gonna have.
I'm looking this up.
Yeah,
You can look it up. You can look it up. Everybody always says,
yeah,
I'm not going to say the 1989 was the last Thanksgiving Day for Brown.
and Ed with being the one of our more intelligent guys when it comes to the trivia here on Down with the Browns. It's gonna be interesting to see how this.
I know I'm right.
Yeah.
I know.
I do want to say one quick thing that I have in my notes about Ronnie Harrison as well. I forgot that he was fifth on the team in tackles with 58 tackles, and he did start 11 out of the 12 games that he played in. Missed the last 5 with an ankle injury and COVID. Like half the team missed COVID versus that Oakland. The Las Vegas Raiders game. So I don't know why I'm calling it Oakland. I'm only 27. I don't know why I'm calling it Oakland. Like it's just, geez.
I remember back. It was the LA Raiders and Ice Cube and NWA. And they were the coolest thing back in the day.
Okay. I can't really find it, but like when was it? Because I think Thad Lewis or somebody started. It was
Daddy
like,
Lou.
You know which game I'm talking about? Like they beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it wasn't on Thanksgiving.
Well, you know which game I'm talking about. It's the same thing. It's all
1989 was the last Thanksgiving.
I can't find it, but yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been just on my birthday because I remember it was on my birthday when that won. Anyways,
that certainly moving forward with the secondary, that certainly Ronnie Harrison kind of wraps up our secondary. Kind of, would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Kind of wraps up. Obviously, you got guys like Herb Miller and D'Anthony Bell and
Richard LeCount.
Richard LeCount. So trying to fill in some of those holes just in case injuries, God forbid, injuries does happen. But I mean it's a game and injuries happen. So we're looking for some good things out of there. Shout out to Deshaun.
The Brown breakhead news. The Browns have played in 3 Thanksgiving Day games. 1966 lost 26-14 to the Cowboys. 1982 lost to the Cowboys 31-14. And like I said, November 1989, Detroit Lions 13, Cleveland Browns 10. So there you go.
Breakhead news. 2 breakhead newses in a
and you know what? Just watch Down with the Browns. You don't need any extra subscription to get this breakhead news coverage because I don't believe in paywalls. The masses need breakhead news and makes America better.
Oh yeah,
it's unbiased. It's
unbiased and truthful and fair.
Yeah. So let's just you guys want to take like 20 minutes and let our listeners get to know Down with the Browns.
Let's go. Yeah.
I mean, 10, 15, 20 minutes,
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's take the back half of the
I'm just going to ask some just random questions,
Yeah.
Let us get to know. Let's so Ed, what is if you had to just go, like what is a go-to movie to watch?
Oh, that's a great one. Now, and when the Rocky movies are on, you know what I'm saying? When he's fighting Clubber Lang, Mr. T, in Rocky 3, or Ivan Drago. See, I always like Rocky 4 because when he fights in America, it's Ivan Drago. He goes to Russia, it's Ivan Draga. So and then he goes and wins the hearts and minds.
I will break you.
I must break you.
I must break you.
Good stuff. So any Rocky movies are on, it gets me kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, he ended the Cold War, so I mean.
By himself with a left. What happened was how he ended the Cold War was it wasn't going good. Drago had him against the ropes, and all of a sudden because Rocky was a southpaw, he hits him with a right hook. Cuts. It's a cut, and it's a bad cut.
It's a cut.
And all the Russians were all
cut.
Well, they were tore apart, man.
Gave me goosebumps.
I mean, Rocky had that dog in him.
He had that dog.
He had that dog in him.
Rocky's from Philly. Manny. So
yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Have you seen the statue?
Yes, I ran up it. I was winded, needed my inhaler. I don't. I couldn't. I got up there and I was embarrassed to say, but I love that wall ball. I had a wall ball because of when I in middle school because of Rocky. I saw him play with that little wall ball in those alleyway scenes, and so I had to get myself a wall
nice
ball.
With
But
yeah,
little bouncy ball. So that's a little fun tidbit about me. Am I allowed to answer that question, Christian?
Yeah. I was just gonna go around, bro.
Oh yeah, listen, Luke, I'm your father. Okay, George Lucas, Lucasfilms, anything Star Wars. Okay, you want Star Wars? Talk to me. I like Star Wars. A big nerd about that. I unapologetically a nerd about Star Wars, and so Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus. Highly recommend it. The Mandalorian. Nice lightsaber. Christian just brought out a lightsaber for all of our listeners who are listening to the podcast. Christian just walked away and came back with a green glowing lightsaber. I approve of this message. This
is the podcast you're looking for.
This is the podcast you're looking for. So I'm a big Star Wars fan. Love Star Wars. If you're not into Star Wars and you're trying to look into it and get somebody hooked on it like hooked on phonics, make them watch The Mandalorian with Baby Yoda, Grogu.
Manny,
I got one of those too.
Manny, is Jar Jar Binks a dog or a pup?
You know what? As much as I would love to say, rile everyone up and say a dog, I'd be lying through my teeth. He is a pup. Jar Jar Binks is a pup, and none of those Jar Jar Binks is a master Sith Lord rumors. Those are all conspiracy, and so Jar Jar.
It's true. It's
it's true.
All right. So if I had to pick one movie that's a go-to, stars Adam Sandler. It happened to be the fourth movie I walked. It's a water boy.
I need to hear the Colonel Sanders line.
No, Colonel Sanders, Mama right, you wrong. They got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
What? Let the listeners know what movie you're talking about.
Oh, it's Waterboy for sure. If you didn't know, Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime with the Bourbon Bowl.
Mama said, "Knock you out."
Mama said, "She the devil."
She the devil, Bobby.
That's a very good Adam Sandler movie. Please, if you get the chance, if you haven't seen it, it's a classic. Watch Waterboy.
Oh,
that's a classic. You gotta watch Waterboy.
I mean, that's why I've always wanted one of them crazy wide linebackers playing for the Browns. It's cracked out of their head.
A little crazy.
Yeah.
But we almost had one with Scooby Wright. Now, shout out
dude,
to
I thought.
Shout out to
was gonna be it.
Yes, I love the name Scooby.
Myself, I'm in a day one dogs and with Nick Carnes and all them, and we did a USFL. Now there was 8 of us in there, and I happened to pick the Birmingham Stallions and Scooby Wright, former Cleveland Brown. We got the championship, and I am gonna make myself a trophy because I love me some me. And I'm going to present myself with a trophy. Yeah. And, people were asking, why would I do such a thing like that? And I said to myself, because I actually watched all of the USFL games that the Birmingham Stallions played in. So that alone makes me crazy, just crazy enough to get myself a trophy. And
gotta get yourself a trophy.
Oh,
gotta get yourself a trophy.
But for the next question, I guess we'll start with you, Manny. All right, you're sitting at home. You're getting prepared to watch the Browns. So what is the spread? What is the spread you're having to eat to watch the Browns get a dub? What is the spread going to be?
Listen, 5 letters, starts with a W. Wings, baby. Wings. It's all about the wings. You get yourself some Buffalo Wild Wings, whatever you need, whatever the spread. We got a local place, Souderton Family Diner down the street on Main Street here in Souderton, Pennsylvania, an hour out of Philly. You get yourself some wings right there. Really hottest wings in the game. I don't touch them. My wife loves hot wings. And guess what? People talk about the bone in. Listen, I love boneless wings, okay? I know people make fun of me, say, hey, Manny, they're basically just greasy chicken nuggets, but I love boneless wings, all right? You dip them in some blue cheese, some ranch, and you just down them. You don't have to worry about the bone, spitting it out. And so, if we have a quarterback with a number 6 on his jersey throwing an interception on Christmas Day, you won't choke on that bone. You don't have to worry about it. So, hey, listen, I love the wings. Got to get yourself some wings.
Oh, for sure. What about you, Ed?
All right. Well, I'm going to go give the listeners a behind the curtain scene of the Ed and Columbus household on game day.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, if it's a 1:00 game, I'm too damn nervous to eat. So I'm too nervous. So what happens is usually something gets crock potted. It gets crock potted, so it's cooking all day. Whether it be a stew, whether it be some kind of some beef stroganoff, whether it be something good like that. So that's going to be the 4:00 and after. Because if they lose, I usually call in radio station or do something, and I complain like the rest of all the drunk people, and then I can be eating that. Or if they win, then you just get the bowl and you just listen to the post game. So I love that, but I can't eat when I'm too nervous. I when the game's on and right before. So and another thing too, before the game, I'm usually looking at like around 12:30. I'm looking for things around the house. Does this need tightened? Does this need screwed? Does this need? And I'm like a mess until 1:00.
Antsy.
Yeah,
anticipation.
Very, very antsy. So food wouldn't be my best thing. So I do like what you're eating, Manny. And if I ever happen to travel your way during the Browns game, I'd love to do it but when I'm at home, it's the butterflies and everything like that. Look, hey, there's only I don't understand this. People always want to throw seasons away and do this. Would you say this, guys? And I firmly believe this. Being a Browns fan or being an NFL fan, we love it. And it's constant every day. The NFL does a good job of promoting it with the draft. And every day we're talking NFL, right?
Yeah.
It's really not that many games. I mean, that season flies by so quick. That first month goes, and that's 25% of the games right there.
Yeah.
And it goes by so quick. And then we're just yearning for more. So I don't know. I take game days as, it's on a Sunday mostly. It's a sacred day as a Browns fan. And I like to give it its due respect that it deserves.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, mine, I mean, you wake up early, you go worship Jesus at the church house. Service usually goes great. You leave church. What I do is there is a local pizza joint here called Gondolier. A lot of people, local people here ain't too big on it, but their wings. They're bone-in wings.
Oh, no.
Are, bro, listen. The nuggets, I don't think they got nuggets at this place. Let me just put you in mind where I'm at. I'm in the tri-state area of Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. There's not much going on here.
Talk about it.
So we got this it's a franchise, but it's kind of like a more local franchise. And their barbecue wings, and you get their blue cheese. I'm not even a big blue cheese guy, but you get their blue cheese, man. Oh, it's fire.
Slaps.
And then you get like a pepperoni pizza on the side, bro. Oh, bro. Oh, man. It's a dog face, man. Face. Can't go wrong with that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But let me think of another question so we can get to know down with the Browns. We'll have to get caught up with Mac, let everybody get to know the Buffalo man. But so you're just cruising down the road. You got to pick 3 songs. 3. It's hard. I know. Tough decision. What 3 songs are getting played? Let's start with you, Ed.
Oh, jeez. All right. I was playing this song the other day, but H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy. Little right there, little, Okay. Number 2. Oh, jeez. No, you really got to hit me.
Oh yeah.
I love me some boy bands. And this song, I know Big Time Rush was in Cincinnati. Now they were in Cleveland the past week. But Worldwide, I don't know. Worldwide. It's a beautiful song. And then number one. And this was my 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers jam because they won the title when it came on. But some Carly Rae Jepsen, I really, really, really like you. And that's how Ed in Columbus rolls. Now, people going to look at him like, it's not exactly the most, hardcore kind of, this thing. But at the same time, I like to be fun. I like to be free. And I like to just have the wind blowing and having a good time.
Oh, yeah. I understand that. So, Manny, tough decision. What does the Maxwell House coffee listen to? Like if you had to pick 3 songs.
Listen, if I'm with my wife, it's something like it's Toby Mac or Chris Tomlin. But if I'm by myself, first song I'm listening to is a song by Panic at the Disco. I write sins, not tragedies. I don't know why it's something that I throw on. I think everybody knows that song, and the piano and the beginning intro is insane. Second is an ongoing joke on Down with Browns podcast. If you've been listening for a while, a song by Kodak Black, Super Gremlin.
I've been jamming that out.
I love that. Jam Super Gremlin.
We could all be superstars.
We could be
back when we was jacking cars.
Back when we was jacking
cars. Play that at the gym, play it on the cruise. You get some pre-workout in your system. It feels like you want to peel your skin off when the pre-workout hits, but love that jam. And then the last one, I'll admit it, this guy wasn't a boy band, but now he's solo. His name is one Harry Styles. As It Was.
I love that song.
I love that song.
Listen to Harry Styles.
That's a banger.
Let me tell you something right now. It's a banger. I'm in Walmart. I'm in your local Target. You're at an AutoZone. You think AutoZone playing rock music? No, it's not. It's playing Harry Styles As It Was on the local radio. You know what I mean? I'm at I'm in the mall. I'm shopping. But As It Was comes on. It's always a jingle. It gets as soon as that part comes on, I'm like,
it's so good. It's so good.
Harry, I want to take a ride with you. As soon as that comes on, it's about to be a banger. So Harry Styles, shout out to Harry Styles, As It Was. Very good song to listen to.
Shout out to all the other ones that were in One Direction. I don't know what you're doing now.
Yeah, I have no idea. No, I was saying I have no idea what you guys are doing. And so just be Harry's rocking that out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Christian? What are you listening to?
I mean, first off, you got to go with the classics. Journey.
Oh, you better not say
Separate Ways.
Oh,
dude, I could sing. You put the greatest hits of Journey on, man. I'm singing every one of them. I'm not just a Don't Stop Believing, man.
Let's go. Yeah,
I'm singing them all, bro. And then
deep tracks.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm singing all, bro. I love 80s. Journey. I was raised on 80s music.
Nice.
Dan Scott raised me right.
He's a dog.
He's a dog. He's a dog. He's no pups over here.
Yeah, facts. And I'm moving it up a little bit, coming into some more modern music. I gotta go with my boy Ye.
Ooh.
And it's got a few features on it, but I'm gonna go Mercy.
Lamborghini Mercy. Big Sean. Shout out to them all.
And last song, I'm gonna go a little bit. I'm gonna go back old school.
Go ahead. Take us back.
I'm going back to some Eddie Van Halen. Some Van Halen.
Oh wow!
And we're gonna be jamming to some Eruption and some Jump.
Jump.
Okay. I'm pick Jump because I love Eruption, but it's just a guitar solo. So I'm gonna go with Jump because it's a banger.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Might as well jump.
So I was more crisscross. We can make you jump. Back down and make you jump.
That's
now, Manny,
they played that at the wedding. They played at the wedding in Oklahoma.
Manny, would you be the DADDY MAC or the MAC DADDY?
MAC. And honestly, if Mac were here, he'd definitely say the Mac Daddy. But I like the MAC. I like
okay.
They were blasting at the wedding. So
love it.
And I guess we got time for one more question.
Yeah, let's do one more. Let's do one more. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. He gonna do one more.
One more.
Do one more. Oh crap. Let's see. What's one question? All right. What is one thing people probably do not know about you? Like, what's one hobby people probably don't know that's listening?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, that's fine.
So obviously there was one hobby that I like to do that I picked up actually extremely recently, as of 1 week ago. So I am trying. I just started. Admittedly, I had some cousins of my family, my wife's family, extended family. They're 10 and 12 years old, and they have been teaching me how to solve a Rubik's Cube in under 2 minutes. So I am down to, I have not fully solved it completely. in a very long time. Actually, since I started doing it, I haven't solved it. I'm at 5 minutes, but one of these days I will post on Twitter a sub 2 minute, hopefully 1 minute 30 seconds, because that's what they do it under. But a sub 1 minute 30-second solving a Rubik's Cube video. One of these days I'll post it, and that's something that I've been working on, a little hobby that I've been trying to do. So very nerdy, but it's gonna look really cool when it's on video.
Yeah, sweet. Do you know, or do you want me to go?
No, I know. Here's what I want to say. I this isn't a hobby, but this is just something about Ed in Columbus that the listeners might want to know. I'm still, even though I'm 42 years old, whenever I get stressed, I take the basketball out and I go into the driveway. And I'm still Mark Price, 1992 against the Bulls. And the other day, well, this is probably about a month ago, Mark Price was about a 90-point-some% free throw shooter. I made 37 free throws in a row.
What?
And I had a witness. So
was it regulation, Ed? Is it regulation?
It is regulation.
At the Ed in Columbus household, is it regulation? Let's go.
Ed in the NBA? Question mark?
Well, here's the problem I learned. Even if you can shoot, there's other things like jumping, running, and doing all those other things at an elite level that probably have passed me by and probably were never good enough to begin with.
Hey, listen. The shooting the basketball is a great YMCA membership at down at the Y, your local rec leagues. Listen, people think you're Michael Jordan on those rec leagues. If all you have to do, if you can shoot the basketball to make it, and you're Michael Jordan at those rec leagues. So I don't want to downplay the ability to shoot the basketball and knock down your free throws. They're free points.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, you gotta hit him. You gotta hit him, man.
I sign autographs. Anybody get any Down with the Browns merchandise? I'll sign it and I'll put the number 37.
Let's go.
Heck yeah.
What about you, Christian? What do we not know about? What do we not know about Christian?
I mean, some of you guys may know, but I mean, I do play a little bit guitar. I've actually got 20 of them.
Wow, I did not know that you have 20 guitars.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
I mean, I've got
you got to listen.
I've got 5 just sitting right here.
You got a banjo though.
No, we don't got a banjo. See, Dad has some stuff here as well. He's got a few guitars. We got a mandolin.
Ooh.
Oh wow,
two basses.
Not much times with mandolin and violins. Try not to sing.
Listen, Christian, you got it. Can you play? Can you actually play the guitar?
Wait. A little bit.
Listen. You got to post a video to Down with the Browns Twitter after this podcast is over. Let the listeners know. Follow Down with the Browns on Twitter and play a little jingle for about 30 seconds. And post
this one right here is my new baby.
Shotgun a bang.
Shotgun a bang and knock down some tunes.
I mean, I just got this one like 2 weeks ago.
This one for the listeners on the podcast it's a nice dark blue.
It's a Taylor.
Oh wow, that's nice. Is it the Fender? That's beautiful. That is beautiful. We gotta get a video. We gotta get proof for these listeners and these viewers that you actually know how to play those things. That you have all 20 of them. We play us a little happy birthday or something, and let it know that it's true. Let it know that it's true.
Sure, I got you.
Let them know, like the Cavs.
Let them know, like the Cavs, Not a Cavs fan. Go Celtics, but
Man, he's a Cavs fan now. He's converted.
Hey, listen. If you guys pick up Kevin Durant somehow, I'll no, I'm not.
He's a Cav.
You're not gonna give me the but
I think this has been a fun episode, boys.
Great episode,
and I think it's a great way to end it.
Absolutely.
You got to know a little bit about the cast.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta get caught up with Mac. So we'll come back when we got Mac on the pod.
We'll have a nice little segment for Mac.
Oh yeah, we'll just sit around.
We'll grill him. We'll just grill him.
We'll grill him questions.
So where were you on?
One sentence answers too.
Yeah.
That's the answer in
yes or no question.
Yeah, yes or no question.
But thank you guys for listening. Go buy some merch. We've actually got some new merch on there. There's a new Manny shirt, a new one of my shirts. We need to get one. I need to add Ed's. I'm not.
Shout out to my Aunt Karen and my Uncle Cameron from Huntsville, Alabama, who have come up to Columbus, and they're eventually going to go up to Cleveland and visit some friends and stuff because they're from Cleveland. But they are buying, which I'm getting them, 2 Ed in Columbus Down with the Browns shirts. So
let's go.
Let's go.
There's going to be a new Ed in Columbus t-shirt coming soon.
Mhm.
Can confirm. I am designing it soon.
Be
But
on the lookout. Be on the
yeah,
lookout. Shout out. Also shout out.
Huge.
Huge. It's
yeah.
gonna be huge. It's gonna be
We
huge.
got some hats too.
Some trucker hats. We're gonna
Huh?
be, oh, it's some new nice
Some
trucker
dad
hats.
hats.
Some
Huh?
dad hats. Shout out to
Snapback.
my uncle Milo, season ticket holder for the Browns. Started
One
listening.
love, Uncle Milo. One love.
Absolutely, and his family down there in Arkansas. And also make sure that you go to the Browns Twitter and start retweeting for those training camp tickets giveaway. We're doing an announcement later this week on who the winners are. So make sure you go to that tweet.
We're giving 3 different days too.
3 different days. 3 different days.
The 5th, the 6th, and the 7th.
4
Of
tickets.
August. Absolutely.
Not
4
one,
tickets.
not
one.
2, not 3, but 4.
For a day, to make that clear. For
Absolutely.
a day.
4 tickets each day. So make sure that you retweet, like, and retweet and follow down the Browns on Twitter to enter that sweepstakes.
And that is at DWTB_. And that's the user. And go Browns.
Go Browns. Woo, woo, woo,
Go
woo.
Browns.